Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Pisces. If Pisces is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. And so Pisces, we have the Lovers. Now you might be saying, hey, Lenore, chill. I do not want a love reading. I can't promise it won't be a love reading, but it might not be, right? The Lovers don't always indicate romantic love. This can be, different kinds of unions, things coming together to create a larger whole, right? And so always a wonderful, wonderful archetype to come up. All right. Now we're going to see what the tea leaves want to tell us here. And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. Also, if you want to hit the like button or leave a comment, I would love to hear from you. Most definitely. Okay, so it looks like we have a person here who is wearing some kind of backpack. The backpack almost looks like a little face too, like a little animal. It reminds me of my cat, to be honest. We have a hairless cat over here and she has a kind of weird little alien head like that. Her name's TT. She is an absolute terror and we love her. But yeah, it looks like a person wearing a backpack, and it looks to me, and maybe kind of more so if you look at it like this, right? Here's the head, here's the body, the arm is extended out, this is the bag. Now, we also have a bird right here. The bird indicates to me that there is a message, okay? The birds, depending on the kind of bird, right? But usually the birds, especially if they're kind of in this almost, it looks like maybe flying or there's some kind of movement. A message coming through, a message being sent. In these times, it could be that you need to kind of make sure that you're checking your phone. If you're like me, I always have notifications off of everything, right? No notifications, no ringtones, everything's silent on my phone. I just am one of those people, like I get anxiety if I keep hearing like the little sound of messages or whatever. So if you're like me, then this is definitely an indicator that you need to be just kind of checking in and listening to those voicemails, opening the text message, looking and seeing what's going on, because you might be missing something important, okay? Now, we also have another person over here. So we have the two people, and it looks like this person is walking towards this person. This person over here also has a candle of illumination, which is a candle that is lit, okay? Usually when I see like a symbol that looks like an I, a lowercase I, or an exclamation mark, which is just the same thing upside down, I take these as symbols of a candle burning. And you can really kind of relate this. It's kind of akin to like the hermit's lantern, okay? So it is this kind of revelation. It is the clarity. It has that kind of solar energy, the solar illumination. It is the thing that brings light into your life where maybe things were kind of murky, right? So I feel like there is some kind of maybe trip coming up. Maybe there is like a important conversation that's about to happen. You're going to go visit family possibly. Maybe you've met somebody, you are dating long distance or something, and this is like your opportunity to go see them and you are taking it, right? Well, when you come together with whoever this person is, I feel like there's going to be a lot of progress within your relationship. So if that means you're like getting to know each other, or maybe you've known each other your entire lives and now you are kind of in this place where you're both willing to kind of work out some of the conflicts or old things that, you know, you don't need to dig out everything, but, you know, there are always things. There are things that need to be resolved, right? And sometimes it's just a matter of maybe explaining or talking or even making amends or apologizing. I never apologize, so I don't know that word. No, I'm kidding. I definitely do. I immediately apologize. I cannot, if I know I did something wrong, especially if it was just like rude and thoughtless or whatever, and I did not intend for it to be, oh boy, I am like, I'll wake you up at 11 o'clock at night. I'll call your house just to make sure, you know, when we were leaving the earlier or whatever, and I said whatever, I hope that didn't offend you, or I hope I didn't say the wrong thing, you know, apologizing immediately. So, you know, it might be that, yeah, this is like a place where there's going to be like a deep session, you know, like a real deep communing with one another. I almost feel like this will be the first time in a long time that you feel like you are really connecting with somebody, right? Like if you could imagine sitting crisscross applesauce, right, on the ground, if you can still sit like that, right? every year, I swear, I'm getting a little closer to not being able to. My knees are all clicking and stuff. But yeah, sitting crisscross applesauce, knee to knee, right, across from this person. Your knees, they're sitting the same way, right? You're mirroring one another. You're looking into each other's eyes. You are hearing what they are saying. You are watching their expressions. You are taking in their emotions. You feel it. You can feel every little inflection in the way that they're speaking. Right? And now I'm not saying this is how you have to have this conversation, but I feel like it is so close this way, right? In my mind, anyways. I'm not saying you have to sit this way, but it feels like if you were to kind of do this, like, you know, maybe you think of it like a kind of hippy dippy new agey or whatever, but sometimes we need to connect. I'll tell you what. My husband and I, shout out to my husband over at Dove and Serpent Tarot. I don't think he'll mind me saying this. It is, you know, kind of personal. But, you know, sometimes when we have an argument, we have a little bit of a moment where, you know, we get annoyed with one another or maybe a little flippant or, you know, whatever. And we try to, I really, again, I'm that person. I have to like say sorry or apologize immediately. But I also am a person, I don't like to go to bed upset or angry if it's within my control, right? So immediately, if there is some kind of little spat going on, I do, and I think my husband feels the same way. I can't speak for him, but, you know, I feel like he's kind of on the same page here. That when we talk, like I'll place my hand on his heart, right, over his heart, and he'll place his on mine. And while we talk to each other, we look eye to eye, you know, and I'd say, I'm sorry, I should not have said that. I'm sorry, I should have let you finish what you were going to say. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to critique or criticize or, you know, whatever, anything that you're saying. I need to be more receptive. I need to be more patient. I need to listen, you know, these kinds of things. And I appreciate you having this conversation with me. Can we try again? You know, these kinds of things. And it's not perfect. I'm not going to sit here and tell you things are perfect. And it's not a perfect way of fixing things, because it doesn't fix things. It's opening a door, right? And I'll tell you what, though, it's brought a lot of peace to my life. I don't like feeling like I'm hiding stuff. I don't like feeling like there's something hidden. I don't feel comfortable when there is turmoil, when there's resentment with anybody in my life, right? And it's not in my control or anybody's control how somebody else feels or whatever. But I do find that when you are proactive about, well, working things through, you know, that doesn't mean everything's going to be puppies and rainbows after the conversation. You might even find that it's better for you to not be in each other's lives. And that's valid in some, you know, in some cases. But I feel like for you, and I know I talked about myself a lot, and somebody will say it in the comments, I'm sure. But I like to use these examples as ways for you to understand where I'm coming from. For you to kind of get a little feeling of the impression that I have from what I'm seeing. But I feel like it really is this time in your life where you are unwilling to carry the old stuff anymore. This is a time in your life where I feel like it's like I want to have people engaging with me, populating my life, my private life, my sacred spaces that I can hear and they can hear me. I don't want to live in a world all the time. I mean, sometimes, right? But I don't want to exist in a world all the time where I feel like nobody notices me, nobody hears me, the people that are around me, they don't respect, or, you know, there's just ill treatment, or, you know, just trying to always like compromise to somebody else's like needs, or, you know, whatever it is. There is a real want for, I feel like, equality within the family, domestically, and generally in your relationships, right? The people that you choose to let into your life. And 100%, I get that. I think we all do. You know, at least when you get older. You know, if you're around, like, say, teenagers or young adults, and you listen to the things that they're fretting over with their social lives and their relationships, and I'm not saying all of them, this is a generalization, but you remember what it felt like to be so worried about things outside of yourself, outside of your own personal little world, and letting other things affect you so deeply. And you have to, when you're young, you have to go through these phases, and you learn to, hopefully anyways, you learn to kind of take hold of your life and do something else, you know. And I feel like for you, that's all, yeah, that's there, right? You are not going to be living in conflict all the time. It just takes so much of your energy. And here I see, this is a kind of a really beautiful one, actually. We have two people, we have the square. Now the square is the foundation. And when you are in your power, that is what we call standing on your square, right? Everything is balanced. Everything is in perfection, not, you know, symbolically, right? And you are in a place of power. Now, we are looking at the Lover's card, so I do feel like there is a partnership here. There is the, at least desire, but I think it is already realized. I feel like you are... I feel like you are... at least have one person in your life you trust completely. And this is them. Now, this could also be kind of that Jungian anima animus, right? And so we all have an anima or an animus, which is our opposite kind of. If you think of like the gods and goddesses, they all have consorts, which is like who they're married to, kind of. Like Horus and Hathor, or Osiris and Isis, or I don't know. Some of the Greek ones are confusing because they have like 15 consorts. You know, or Persephone and Hades. That's the one I can remember. Yeah, so they have consorts. Well, in the Jungian kind of framework or system, there is the idea that we all have our own consort within our own self, right? It's one of our archetypes. And so, and I know it's kind of an outmoded way to think about this in very kind of binary terms. But so I am a woman. I identify as a woman. I've always lived as a woman. I would have an animus, right? So I would have a male counterpart, a masculine counterpart, who is my complete equal, right? Because they're a part of me. It is an aspect of my psyche. And so when we see that, when I see the Lover's card, that's what I think of mostly. I don't even think of like, oh, you're going to meet somebody or, you know, whatever. It is all about balancing these sides of self. Okay. So I wonder if this is actually maybe very kind of symbolic of you coming into this place of like supreme activation, right? Where you're getting these different sides of yourself really kind of processed and integrated, and that brings this real like sense of, I was gonna say security, but it's not security, the sense of, again, power. I think it's the power. Like there's a sense of power in your own life. Okay. We also have an evergreen tree here in the middle. And to me, that really says you are fortified, okay? Evergreen trees like pine trees and, what are they called? What are the Christmas trees? They're not pine trees. They're, I don't know. I forget. What are they called? Spruce tree? Are they a spruce tree? I don't know. I'm sorry, I'm big blank here. But yes, they're green all year round, right? Even when it's super cold. So when I see this, it is kind of the sign of like, you are very adaptable, you are strong, you are powerful, you're gonna get through the dang old thing if, you know, heck or high water or whatever, you know, and it's right at the core here. So I feel like it just is this powerful moment in your life where you're not going to take it anymore. You're done doing what everybody else wants you to do. You are done, you know, just kind of getting by. No, this is your era of really ascending into whatever it is your true will might be. Okay? And what is your true will? It is kind of like our purpose for being here. Like, why did you choose to be born into a human body? Why did you choose to manifest here on earth? What is the work? Why are you here? Okay? And I really do. I feel like, you know, oftentimes I think we go through the process of being a child and growing up a little bit and trying to get through those initial adulthood years when you're young and you're still basically a kid and, you know, whatever. And you get into middle age and maybe beyond, and this calling for the individuation process really begins. And it really is this time of unlearning, of shedding, of casting off, you know, coping mechanisms, conditioning, ideas about the world that you maybe adopted or were taught to you, and so many things, right? And I feel like in that time when you start getting that going, right? When you start getting into that healing and self-evolution, you really have to be quite brutal. Now, I'm not saying like get all nefarious and go out there and, you know, do malicious things. That's not what it's about. No. But you have to be really brutal about like saying, no, I don't want to do that. No, I don't have time to offer you. No, I'm not going to live, you know, in a household where I feel uncomfortable. No. No. You know, and you do. You get to a point where it's like, I have a completely different idea of how I want to be living, or I want to work on this thing, or I want to kind of adjust this other thing. And you do what you must. If nobody understands what you're doing, who cares, right? Because you know what you're doing. You know what is best for you, okay? And I feel like that's what this is all about. It's so much about getting into that place where, yeah, you have chosen, this is my life, this is what I want to do. And I'm finally taking that into hand. It kind of reminds me now, if there's any creepy and gross, like, parts that did not age well, which there are, right, of this movie. Probably quite a few, actually. Now that the more I'm thinking about the movie and the people in it, then I'm like, why did I bring this up? But it kind of reminds me of like American Beauty, right? Wipe away the details, but kind of this idea where you hit this moment in your life, and a lot of people call it like a midlife crisis, right? Where you realize, why am I living like this? What am I doing? I am literally destroying myself, living somebody else's idea of like how one should live their life. And that's where we get into trouble, because we look at other people, we see how they're living, we get on the internets, we go on the social medias, we see highly curated stuff, and we think, oh, well, I'm not living like that. Maybe I should be, or maybe I need to be like upping my game and, you know, doing what all the other people are doing. And, you know, and you can only live this way for so long. Hopefully it doesn't take 40 or 50 years to figure it out. But even if it does, you're never too late. And so I feel you really in this place in your life where, yeah, you have a lot of courage, a lot of strength, and really a lust to live. And that's what it comes down to, is that you have a lust to live completely. What does that look like for you? Only you can answer that. But I see you in this next period of time going into this new year. Really, really, just, I think there's this, it's like a resolve that feels like a fire lit underneath you. I mean, that's really what the kind of vibe I'm getting here. Okay, so we also have, it looks like L-E, the letters, and oh, MC. L-E-M-C, if that means anything to you. We also have a dog that is playing with somebody, and it looks like the person is maybe like something to do with soccer. Like maybe they play soccer, maybe they're a big soccer fan. I know it's called football everywhere else. I know. I'm an American. Oh, America. But yes, a dog and a soccer player. And so I feel like maybe a best friend, somebody very close to you. I don't know. But there's also a semicolon. So I feel like this is kind of there's been a little bit of a transition into something going on between you two Almost feels like it's picking up where it left off kind of vibe. Maybe there was kind of a break in the friendship or whatever, but I see you really kind of getting close again, okay? And if that's something that you've been hoping for, then wonderful. I'm excited for you because I do. I feel like there is kind of a closeness that is growing once more. Now we're going to do our lucky numbers. 21, 21, 22, 22, 21, 22. Can we get a 23? 76. Oh my goodness. Not even close. All right, we're also going to finish off with our Mary Magdalene oracle cards here. And these are so beautiful and I love them. They kind of just punctuate the end of the reading here. We'll stop where it feels right. Golden light. Healing comes from within. Healing comes from within. Absolutely. All right. Pisces, I want to tell you I love you because I do. And I thank you so much for spending this time with me. It's always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you. And if you would be so kind as to like the video, it really does help the channel. And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. Also, if you'd like to leave a comment, I would love to hear from you. All right. Well, I hope everybody is having wonderful holiday seasons here. All kinds of holidays going on, all kinds of festivals and events, and we're getting closer to winter. I'm sorry, I'm about to yawn here. My goodness. It's just been a busy. We had a little kind of Friendsgiving kind of dinner with a couple people at our house yesterday, and then we're having my daughter who's 4. She's having a party. She's hosting a little party over here with her friends. They're gonna decorate cookies, but it somehow grew into like a big thing, kind of. And so we're excited about that, and a little worn down. Also, all that turkey I ate, that's just making me want to take a nap. So, all right, Pisces, I love you. I love you. I love you. Take care of yourself. We're gonna talk in a few days. Good night.